Hello everyone and welcome to part 2 of my July book haul. Content warning right now for loss of a animal, of a pet. So I went to Barnes & Noble. I didn't pay attention to how much I was spending because I was grief shopping, and it's just like, you know what, fine. So it'll take me 2 or 3 payments to pay this off, which I don't like, but I also know that I was grieving because unfortunately my cat Ophelia that you have seen if you've been around for a little bit in a couple of videos, I unfortunately had to put her down. I took her for a vet appointment on June 4th. Today is July 24th. So June 4th she went for a vet appointment, just a checkup. Everything looked great. Her blood work was beautiful. No issues. She stopped eating I took her into the emergency vet yesterday, so the 23rd. She stopped eating about 6 days. She hasn't been eating unless I put something right under her face. But she wasn't eating. And I was like, okay, she's done that before where she'll stop eating, and then after about 2.5, 3 days, she starts to perk up and starts to eat again. Very little, but then she's back to normal. So I thought, okay, she probably got a bug. So I gave it the 3 days, and then I thought, okay, she's not eating. Maybe she's just really sore, and I've got to get her into the vet. Maybe she's got like a slip disc or something that she's not wanting to go downstairs to eat. So we bought my mom and I bought some of her favorite wet cat food, which is the Fancy Feast brand. And so I put that in a bowl, put it right under her. She would take 3 or 4 bites and then turn around and walk away, would not eat anymore. And I would leave that out in my bedroom where she was, either on my bed or under my bed. I would leave it where she could easily get to it without going up or down any stairs. But she would not eat any more than those 3 or 4 bites. I thought, okay, maybe she's still really sick. I've been calling around to the vets trying to get her in. Finally, I was just like, you know what? They're booked weeks out, like at least 2 weeks out. So I thought, let's get her into the emergency vet. Hopefully it's just a stomach bug. And so we took her to the emergency vet. Her blood work was fine. I mean, certain numbers were elevated, which can elevate due to stress, but they did some imaging because they felt something hard in her abdomen. And it turns out that she has developed, since her appointment on June 4th, a tumor. They also found some suspicious things on her spleen in the imaging, which were highly indicative and suspicious of cancer. So they think she developed a tumor, which are very fast growing in cats, and cancer on her spleen. So she got sick very, very fast. So unfortunately I had to have her put down. And of course I was like, what can I do to try and help me feel better? And of course let myself grieve, which I did. And I bought some books. I also bought some candles from Bath & Body because it was just right there. So let's go ahead and get into this book haul. Enough of the being down in the dumps, which I will be, and I will be every night for a bit. And she was only 14. So I was hoping I would have at least 4 or 5 more years with her. Maybe 2 or 3 at the shorter end of things. But it just was not meant to be. So that's the bad thing about having pets. It sucks. This is the hardest thing, and you don't want them to suffer. I really didn't want her to suffer. And the vet was like, at this point, we can send her in for some emergency ultrasound and see if they can biopsy the tumor, see if it's something that can be removed. But at this point, she says it's really not going to do any good because either way, it's going to be highly stressful for her physically and emotionally, and her lifespan is just going to be very not good. So I did have to put her down. 2024 has sucked. Getting Georgie, my mom's dog, has been the best thing so far, but 2024 has sucked. So let's go ahead and get into the book haul. So this first one, this is book 1 in the Infatuated Fae series, and this is a special edition book that I ordered from the author's website. I saw this advertised on Instagram. So green sprayed edges right there. And so, you know, nothing there, it's just a green book. Oh, the end pages. I've got to show you these. And then this is the very special part. So, it says, when a trip into the forest to collect a rare mushroom for her research goes horribly wrong, biologist Callie Peterson finds herself falling through a fairy portal and straight into the arms of the unseelie Fae Prince, the dangerously unhinged and viciously handsome unseelie Fae Prince. He thinks she's an assassin sent by the humans to kill him, not a scientist, and he imprisons her in his realm, where unwittingly, his obsession with her begins to grow. Prince Mendax has never felt anything but loathing until his eyes meet hers, this vile human assassin's. He believes she's there to kill him, yet her beauty is a parasite that has mercilessly latched into his mind and won't let go. He itches to feel her smooth skin, even though the unseelie royals would rather burn than touch a human. It is a dangerous desire. If he does not destroy the girl soon, she may be the only thing capable of destroying him. Mendax needs to be rid of her, but he also needs to entertain his people, and so he challenges Callie to 3 deadly trials. If she survives, she gains her freedom. If she doesn't, his wrath is only just beginning. So, it sounds good. And then the second one is book 2 in the Infatuated Fae series by Jeneane O'Reilly. Green book, sprayed edges, signed by the author, and that stenciled edge isn't with the fox. Isn't that gorgeous? Just gorgeous. I like this one, the look of this one, better than the other one because it's a fox, and I like foxes better than moths, a lot better than moths. I actually have a fear of moths. so I will read the synopsis of this one. It says, finally reunited with her family in the Seelie realm, Callie struggles to come to terms with all she had to give up to get there. The second half of her, though she eagerly awaits the ceremony to receive the second half of her heart and become whole, it comes at an unsettling cost. She must marry her longtime friend, Prince Aurelius, to solidify her place within the Seelie court. But as the event draws nearer, she's haunted by the memory of Malliam Mendax, the unseelie prince, the bond they shared in his realm, and the sinful sparks between them. She still feels his eyes on her, finds him in her bed in her dreams, and soon she realizes it's more than just his memory that haunts her. Mendax survived Callie's assassination attempt, and he has returned to punish his pet and the ones that took her from him. With his return, Callie's place in Seelie is at risk. Her future plans are at risk. Her very life is at risk. But the way Mendax makes her feel tempts her to forget all just for the chance to touch him once again. This next one was actually gifted to me from my mom. This was her copy, and she's decided she did not want a physical copy of this book, so she's giving it to me to see if I will like it. And that is Ella Minnow P. Ella Minnow P. Ella Minnow P. So, by Mark Dunn. It says this is a novel in letters. So we'll see. Let's see. Ella Minnow P. is a girl living happily on the fictional island of Nullup off the coast of South Carolina. Nullup was named after Nevin Nullup, author of the immortal phrase containing all the letters of the alphabet. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. Now, Ella finds herself acting to save her friend's family and fellow citizens from the encroaching totalitarianism of the island's council, which has banned the use of certain letters of the alphabet as they fall from a memorial statue of Nevin Nullup. As the letters progressively drop from this statue, they also disappear from the novel. She's got a hair in her book. Okay, got it. Let's see. The result is both a hilarious and moving story of one girl's fight for freedom of expression and a linguistic tour de force sure to delight word lovers everywhere. All right, and this next book I got, I'm just shutting down my computer off to the side. This next book I got is Twisted Devotion by Poppy St. John. Really like the darkness of the cover, and I'm hoping the inside is just as dark as the outside. So this has 2 POVs. We're following Emily and Rupert, I'm guessing is how that is said. Could be wrong. So underneath Emily, it says, never enter the mortuary after midnight. I thought it was a superstition. How could I have known Dad was cremating corpses for a crime lord? I should have listened. Now it's too late. A cold-blooded monster has me in his sights. My stalker, my captor, my ruin. I should hate Rupert for using me to blackmail my father, but with every rough touch and wicked promise, I lose myself to his dark seduction. Soon, there won't be any of me left. Underneath Rupert, it says, don't get involved. Good advice, especially for someone dealing in secrets and sins. I lived by that rule since I took the throne, until her. The Undertaker never told me he had a daughter, one with emerald fire in her eyes and enough soul to share. I decided Emily was mine from that first moment. Mine to touch, mine to hold, mine to break. And I plan on keeping her. I'm finding I really like that trope where it's like, you're mine or she's mine, don't touch her or die type of a thing. I tend to really like that. I would not like that in real life, but in fiction books, I tend to enjoy that. Now the rest of the books I will show you are ones that I just wandered around Barnes & Noble and added to my cart. So let's go ahead and get into these. Okay, this first one was on the buy one, get one half off table. So I'm just going to take that sticker off. And this is Murder Your Employer. And this is obviously part of a series because it does have one right there. This is written by Rupert Holmes. It says, who hasn't wondered what the world would be like if a person who is the object of your affliction ceased to exist? At the McMaster's Conservatory, future derelicts, never murderers, learn the consummate execution of the homicidal arts. To this sumptuous campus come 3 memorable classmates, self-effacing Cliff Iverson, troubled Gemma Lindley, and Hollywood diva Dora May, all of whom had suffered menacing employers who richly deserve a deadly denouement. Under the tutelage of Dean Harbinger, Harrow and the fascinating Dean Harbinger Harrow and the fascinating faculty of McMaster's Halls of Poison Ivy, they hone their craft, each hoping to finesse a perfectly masterful murder. Sounds good. This next one, also from the buy one, get one half off, is one that I've seen quite a bit of on YouTube. Not so much anymore, but when it was first released, I did. And it sounded good. And so I thought, where it's on the buy one, get one half off, I'm going to get it. And that's Style A for Aunties, as you can see, by Jesse Q. Sutanto. I'm sure I said that wrong. When Madeline Chan ends up accidentally killing her blind date, her meddlesome mother calls for her even more meddlesome aunties to help get rid of the body. Unfortunately, a dead body proves to be a lot more challenging to dispose of than one might anticipate, especially when it is inadvertently shipped in a cake cooler to the over-the-top billionaire wedding that Meddy, her ma, and her aunties are working at an island resort on the California coastline. It is the biggest job yet for the family wedding business. Don't leave your big day to chance, leave it to the Chans. And nothing, not even an unsavory corpse, will get in the way of her auntie's perfect buttercream flowers. But things go from inconvenient to downright torturous when Maddie's great college love and biggest heartbreak makes a surprise appearance amid the wedding chaos. Is it possible to escape murder charges, charm her ex back into her life, and pull off a stunning wedding all in one weekend? Another book from the buy one, get one half off is You May Now Kill the Bride, written by Kate Weston. I like it when the stickers are really easy to remove. Makes life a lot easier. Who will be left standing when the bouquet is thrown? Lauren, Saskia, Dominica, Farah, and Tansy have been best friends since grade school. They wonder if that was the last time they had actually liked one another. As adults, their lives have splintered. Tansy runs a vegan cafe and is preparing a shotgun marriage to awful Ivan. Farah is engaged and is fast becoming a complete bridezilla. Dominica is a successful divorce attorney with no time for anything but work. Lauren has had a total failure to launch in her career and love life, consumed by a man who has spent years stringing her along. Saskia has married into wealth and a different circle of friends in a fancy part of London. Some days it seems that the only thing holding the group together is an event that happened in their youth 20 years ago. An incident they've all sworn to keep secret in order to protect one another. When the group is reunited at Tansy's bachelorette come wellness retreat weekend, it doesn't take long for old grudges to surface. Then the bride-to-be chokes to death on a poisoned drink, and all the bridesmaids are suspects. Okay. And the last book from the buy one get one half off table is How I'll Kill You by Ren DeStefano. Let me get this sticker off. And the cover is what drew me in on this one. I really like this cover. Make him want you, make him love you, make him dead. Sissy has an interesting family. Always the careful one, always the cautious one. She has handled the cleanup while her serial killer sisters have carved a path of carnage across the U.S. Now, as they arrive in the Arizona heat, Sissy must step up and embrace the family pastime of making a man fall in love and then murdering him. Her first target? A young widower named Edison, and their mutual attraction is instant. While their relationship progresses, and most couples would be thinking about picking out china patterns and moving in together, Sissy's family is reminding her to think about picking out a burial site and moving on. Then something happens that Sissy never anticipated. She begins to feel protective of Edison, and before she can help it, she's fallen in love. But the clock is ticking, and her sisters are growing restless. It becomes clear that the grave site she chooses will hide a body no matter what happens. But if she betrays her family, will it be hers? Okay, next one is book one in a series. And when I go into Barnes & Noble, I see this, and I'm like going, oh, I'm intrigued by the cover. And so I've been wanting to check this out. And so I've finally got book one. Because when I've gone, the other covers that I've seen have been like books 2 and 4 in the series. Finally, they had book 1. And that is Blood of Elves, which is book number 1 in the Witcher series by Andrzej Sapkowski. I have no idea how to say that. For over a century, humans, dwarves, gnomes, and elves have lived together in relative peace. But that peace has now come to an end. Geralt of Rivia, the hunter known as Witcher, has been waiting for the birth of a prophesied child, the one who has the power to change the world for good, or for evil. As the threat of war hangs over the land and the child is pursued for her extraordinary powers, it will become Geralt's responsibility to protect them all, and the Witcher never accepts defeat. This next one was a complete cover, and it has sprayed edges, so a complete cover by Vicious by L.G. Shen. He's bad news, wrapped in a good suit. They say love and hate are the same feelings, experienced under different circumstances, and it's true. The man who comes to Emilia LeBlanc in her dreams also haunts her in her nightmares. Baron Vicious Spencer is a brilliant lawyer, a skilled criminal, a beautiful liar, a bully and a savior, a monster and a liar. And since her mom was the live-in caretaker for his family's estate in high school, there was no escaping his wrath, until she had no other choice. To Vicious, Emilia is completely off-limits, a starving artist, her best friend's ex-girlfriend. Pretty and evasive as a cherry blossom. When they were younger, she barged into his life unannounced and turned everything upside down. She discovered his darkest secret, and he made her pay the price. Drove her out of town, hated and wanted her in equal measure. It should deter him from chasing her to New York a decade later, but it doesn't. So she still hates him. Big deal. She'll have to get used to him, because this time he isn't going anywhere, and he's taking her with him. Next, I have Just My Type by Falon Ballard. All's fair in love and journalism. Lana Parker is an expert girlfriend, After a disastrous breakup with her high school boyfriend, she's bounced from long-term relationship to long-term relationship and even works as the dating and relationships columnist for one of Los Angeles' trendiest websites. But when Lana suddenly finds herself single, she's ready to take a break, both personally and professionally. That is, until her high school ex, Seth Carson, takes an assignment at Lana's site. I can't remember how I said that, but that's what we're going with. Okay. Having spent years traveling the world as a freelance journalist, Seth's finally ready to put down roots. Seth and Lana's chemistry is just as combative and undeniable as ever, and quickly leads to a competition that should shape both of their careers. Pitted against each other by Lana's boss, they are each tasked with writing an article series that goes against their usual dating type. Lana needs to write about being single and staying single, while Seth must learn to settle down and become boyfriend material. Whoever's series is most popular wins a highly coveted dream job. But when the two square off, it's not only their careers on the line, it's also their hearts. Next up I have Craving. This is a Steele Brothers novel. It is first in a series, I did check, written by Helen Hardt. I love the simplicity of covers like this. After being left at the altar, Jade Roberts seeks solace at her best friend's ranch on the Colorado western slope. Her humiliation still ripe, she doesn't expect to be attracted to her friend's reticent brother. Reticent? I'm guessing it's not recent brother, because then she's attracted to a baby, for crying out loud. Reticent, whatever that is. Okay, but when the gorgeous cowboy kisses her, all bets are off. Talon's steel is broken. Having never fully healed from a horrific childhood trauma, he simply exists, taking from women what is offered and giving nothing in return, until Jade Roberts catapults into his life. She is beautiful, sweet, and giving, and his desire for her becomes a craving he fears he'll never be able to satisfy. Passion sizzles between the two lovers, but long-buried secrets haunt them both and may eventually tear them apart. Next I have Hush Hush by Lucia Franco. Never reveal your true identity. I knew the rules. Never reveal my true identity. Play the game, give the illusion, don't get close to the clients. The dark and glamorous lifestyle of the rich and shameless opened my eyes to a lavish world of sin and wealth, and a man I can't have. A man I desperately want. James Riviera. We're treading a fine line as we live the ultimate double life until we make a startling discovery that tests both our loyalties. I only had to follow the rules, but rules are meant to be broken. Next I have The Starless Crown by James Rollins. This is a big book. It's over 500 pages. So, who will claim the Starless Crown? A gifted student foretells an apocalypse. Her reward is a sentence of death. Fleeing into the unknown, she is drawn into a team of outcasts. A broken soldier who once again takes up the weapons he's forbidden to wield and carves a trail back home. A drunken prince who steps out from his beloved brother's shadow and claims a purpose of his own. An imprisoned thief who escapes the crushing dark and discovers a gleaming artifact, one that will ignite a power struggle across the globe. On the run, hunted by enemies old and new, they must learn to trust each other in order to survive in a world evolved in strange, beautiful, and deadly ways, and uncover ancient secrets that hold the key to their salvation. But with each passing moment, doom draws closer. Next is a manga by Junji Ito. I saw this book, or this cover, and I thought, oh, that's interesting. Alley by Junji Ito. And I'm curious as to when this one, because I haven't seen this one before. Is this a newer... Originally published in Japan in 2011. I don't see when it was translated. First printing July 2024. So it's a recent translation. So, cool. So a new Junji Ito for me. Story collection. What secret lies within the stains of the alley's walls? Every night, a young man hears children playing outside his boarding house, but the alley below his window is fenced off from the world. Then, a young woman's family starts acting strangely at the same time she begins having bizarre dreams. She decides to stay with her aunt, but the town she heads for has neither addresses nor roads. Also, an all-you-can-eat ice cream bus that's more sinister than sweet. This is a collection of short stories. So short horror manga stories. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Did I count that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep, 10 short stories in this. So Allie. 3 more books, and then this video is done. But these 3 are wrapped up. These are blind dates type situations with a book. 2 horror and 1 sci-fi. So I'm just going to go horror, sci-fi, horror. So the hint on this one is, what would you do if your missing best friend returned, but she was different and had an appetite for things humans shouldn't eat? So let's find out what this is. It has a pink cover. Ooh. The Return by Rachel Harrison. A group of friends reunite after one of them has returned from a mysterious 2-year disappearance in this haunting debut novel. So this is her debut. Julie is missing, and no one believes she will ever return, except Elise. Elise knows Julie better than anyone, and feels it in her bones that her best friend is out there, and that one day Julie will come back. She's right. 2 years to the day that Julie went missing, she reappears with no memory of where she's been or what happened to her. Along with Molly and May. They're 2 close friends from college. The women decide to reunite at a remote inn, but the second Elise sees Julie, she knows something is wrong. She's emaciated, with sallow skin and odd appetites. And as the weekend unfurls, it becomes impossible to deny that the Julie who vanished 2 years ago is not the same Julie who came back. But then who or what is she? So I'm thinking vampire, maybe zombie, I don't know. We'll see. Okay, so the sci-fi says, the hint says, if you weren't already afraid of AI, you will be after reading this. Okay. Okay. I, Robot by Asimov. So this is actually, with logging this in Goodreads, it's actually like a prequel. It's book 0.1 in a series. And I think this is a classic. So it's Isaac Asimov. It just says Asimov on the front. The series is called Robot, and it looks like there's 4 primary works, but there's a couple of novellas, it looks like, before that. So the first book in the series is called The Caves of Steel. So I am interested in this. I've seen this around and have been wanting to pick this up. So, yep, it says it's a classic. So classic science fiction. I, Robot is the first and most widely read book in Asimov's Robot series. Forever changed the world's perception of artificial intelligence. Here are stories of robots gone mad, mind-reading robots, robots with a sense of humor, stories of robot politicians and robots who secretly run the world, all told with the dramatic blend of science, fact, and science fiction that have become Asimov's trademark. So, it sounds like this is a collection of short stories, I'm guessing, from what that sounds like. So we'll see. The 3 laws of robotics. 1. A robot may not injure a human being or, through inaction, allow a human being to come to harm. 2. A robot must obey orders given to it by human beings except where such orders would conflict with the first law. So in other words, go kill this person would not work. Good. Number 3, a robot must protect its own existence as long as such protection does not conflict with the first or second laws. With these 3 simple directives, Isaac Asimov formulated the laws governing robots' behavior. In I, Robot, Asimov chronicles the development of the robot form from its primitive origins in the present to its ultimate perfection in the not-so-distant future, a future in which humanity itself may be rendered obsolete. Okay, and this last one is the horror book. Caution, this book contains an AI elevator. a cannibalistic disease, and the horrors of immortality. Oh, it has deckled edges. I hate deckled edges. Your Utopia Stories by Bora Chung. I hate deckled edges. Okay, it does say this is a collection of short stories classified as horror, science fiction, speculative fiction, and dystopia. This is translated. It has the name of the translator. I like it when the translator is listed on the book. Translated by Anton Herr. So there's that, and this is Your Utopia. It says, let's see. Dark humor, let's see. Horror, absurdity, and dark humor reaches its peak in these tales of loss and discovery, dystopia and idealism, death and immortality. In a thrilling translation, let's see, it's not going to tell me anything. Okay, in the Center for Immortality Research, which is one of the stories in this, it says a low-level employee runs herself ragged, planning a fancy gala, I don't know, for donors, only to be blamed for the chaos that ensues during the event in front of the mysterious celebrity benefactors hoping to live forever. In A Song for Sleep, an AI elevator in an apartment complex develops a tender, one-sided love for an elderly resident. Seed traverses the final frontier of capitalism's destruction of the planet, but nature always creeps back to life. So, okay, this sounds interesting. I am intrigued by this. So I got a collection of short stories, one by Junji Ito and one by Bora Chung. So let me know, have you read any of these books? Have you read books from any of these authors? Yeah, talk to me in the comment section below. And until next time, stay true to yourself and enjoy a good book. And I will talk to you later.